Para may putol. Para maraming video. Okay. Next, we have our oral drug absorption. So, oral drug absorption is the most important way of absorption because this is the most convenient. Okay. So, it is the most common and popular route of administration of drugs inside the body, into the body. However, siya din yung pinakamaselan. Marami siyang kailangang i-address na factors katulad ng extreme pH ranges. Ang inyong bibig, pagpalagay na neutral, 7. Pagpatak ng stomach, 3. Pwedeng 1, depende kung kumain ka. Bago pag lampas ng stomach, intestine, neutral yon. So around 6. Ang sunod, kailangan nyo ding i-account kung may pagkain o walang pagkain. Minsan yung gamot kumakabit sa pagkain. Minsan hindi ma-absorb yung gamot pag may pagkain. Or minsan, mas mabilis ma-absorb pag bagong kain. Isa pang kailangan i-consider, enzymes. Baka may mga enzymes na sumisira ng inyong gamot. Take for example, amylase. Amylase, pepsin. These are digestion enzymes that can act on some sugars and proteins. So you need to also consider that. Sunod din po, varying drug permeability across the GI tract. Saan po most na-absorb ang gamot? Sa intestine, small intestine. Aling specific na part? Duodenum. Ang tanong, hindi naman duodenum lang ang part ng GI tract ninyo. Diba? Maraming dadaanan yan. Stomach, kung saan-saan pa. Bago pag nasa duodenum naman, hindi naman siya titigil doon. Itatain nyo rin yan. So, dadaloy siya dire-diretso. So, there's only a specific window of time kung saan nasa duodenum siya. So, you need to also account for that. Ano pang isa? Motility of the GI tract. Iba't iba yung speed ng pagdaloy ng gamot sa inyong bituka. Pag bagong kain kayo, mabilis. Pag hindi kayo kumain, mabagal. Pag nagtatae kayo, mabilis. Pag kayo'y naka-antidiarrheal or naka-opioids, mabagal. So, these are just examples of some factors that you need to design for. Okay. So, our digestive system starts from your alimentary canal up to your anus. The major physiologic processes are secretion, paglabas ng digestive enzymes, digestion, which is the breakdown of our food, and absorption. Okay? So secretion includes transport of fluid, electrolytes, and peptides. Digestion naman, ito yung breakdown of food. And most of the food is absorbed in the small intestine. Okay? So in terms of absorption, drugs administered orally passes through all parts of the GI tract. Residues, o mga tira-tira, ay nagiging feces and eventually inyong inilalabas. Ganito ang tract ng ating digestive tract. Simula sa bibig, stomach, duodenum, small intestine, then your large intestine. Makikita nyo po diyan, I think naka-drawing naman sa inyo, kung ano yung pH ranges and gaano katagal. Okay? So, katulad ng sa large intestine, pwedeng 10 hours hanggang several days. Siguro naman nakaranas na kayo at least once in your life na natibi kayo. Mga 2 araw na kayo hindi natae. Kaya yon ang large intestine. Namamahay ba kayo? Namamahay bang pet ninyo? Alam niyo ba yun, yung term na yon? Yung hindi mapatae pag hindi sa bahay? Pag nagtatrabaho kayo, second home nyo na ang CR ng office nyo. Merong app, yung nataihan na ba? Bago example, nasa mall ka. Pagkaupo mo, checkan mo, may checklist. Bago pipicturean mo yung toilet, grade-gradean mo. May app na gano'n. Bago ang parang goal mo ay padamihan kayo ng nataihan na. Okay, so let's go talk about the parts of the digestive system. Ano yung kanyang properties and anong pwede natin gawin doon? Ox. Simula tayo sa bibig, sa ating oral cavity. Sa ating oral cavity, hindi po nagtatagal ang pagkain dyan. Like, kita nyo naman kung gaano kayo kabilis lumamon. So, oral cavity, relatively neutral naman ang laway. And the only things that you can administer there is yung mga sublingual, mga rapidly dissolving tablets, at saka ang ating mga lozenges and our lollipops. Okay, so yung mga pwedeng ibabad. Hindi po lahat ng gamot pwedeng sublingual. Dapat ay kaya niya muna mag-pass through sa membrane ng inyong bibig. So examples ay ito, Abilify Disc Melt. Ito yung rapidly dissolving tablet. Na-absorb yan sa bibig pa lang. Actic. This is fentanyl for kids. For kids with cancer. Okay. Nitrostat, this is your nitroglycerin. This is for angina. Sunod, esophagus. Wala tayong magagawa sa esophagus. Like, mga segundo lang ang tag-usan ng ating esophagus. Okay, let's talk about the stomach. So the stomach is innervated by the vagus nerve. It is a nerve that tells your brain na nakakain ka na. Remember na ang gutom ay nagmumula sa nerve na yan. Pag lumalaki ang inyong stomach, it will send signals to your brain, busog ka na. Pag maliit yung inyong stomach, it will tell your brain, gutom ka na. So ano kayo ngayon? Gutom na ba? Mamaya, kakain kayo. The main challenge with the stomach is its acidic nature. Your stomach is acidic by nature. Depende pa kung kumain kayo. Kung kayo ay hindi kumain, 2 to 6. So, acidic pa rin yun. Pero pag bagong kain kayo, 1.5 to 2. Meron ba kayong kakilala nung high school na may ulcer, yung hindi marunong kumain ng tama sa oras? Usually, mga babaeng nagdradrama. Oo, tunay, nung high school, mga babaeng nagdradrama. Ewan ko kung dumaan pa kayo dun sa emo face na may boyfriend na, kumain ka na. Hindi, ayoko yan. Nagka-ulcer kang tanga ka. Very relatable yung tandahol. Parang a good chunk nung high school na batch ko may ulcer kasi ayaw kumain for some reason. Okay? Alam nyo kung bakit pag may ulcer ka at kumain ka na sakit? Kasi pag kumain ka, nabagsak ang pH. Kaya humahapdi lalo. Okay. So, how do we consider the stomach? So, ang problem sa stomach ay, bukod sa acidic na siya, it also has some digestive enzymes already. Like our gastrin. Now, these enzymes like gastrin and pepsin, this already breaks down food. Ang mga kawawang gamot dito ay yung mga acid labile. Meaning, pag nilagay sa acidic na environment, nasisira. Take for example, erythromycin. Erythromycin, hindi po yun pwede na plain-coated tablet. Pag ininom nyo yun, masisira sa inyong stomach. Kaya ang erythromycin ay laging enteric-coated. So almost all drugs that should be given orally should be designed to survive in the stomach. It's either kaya niya as is, hindi siya masisira sa acidic pH, or magko-coat ka ng enteric. In the stomach, mixing of food is rapid. Mabilis, parang ginigiling ang pagkain, gumaganon. So, food and liquid is often drained. Okay. Tingin kayo sa stomach nyo. Do you know where your stomach is? It's here. Okay. Saan ang pasukan? Sa taas. Yung labasan ay nasa side na to. Hindi nasa pit. Nandito pa lang. Lower right side ng inyong tiyan. Rinig mo, kinain ko? Oh, nandito. So, ang tawag po doon, gastric emptying. Hindi naman po siya dire-diretso. Pag kumain ka, tatambay muna yan ng konti sa stomach, then eventually, it would empty into the small intestine. Now, yung bilis or tagal ng pagtambay ng gamot sa inyong stomach will affect effectivity of the drug. Kapag masyadong matagal ang tambay ng inyong gamot sa stomach, na-delay ang absorption. Kasi hindi naman na-absorb masyado sa stomach sa intestine. So the faster it goes from your stomach to your intestine, the faster the drug would be eventually absorbed. Kapag mabagal ang emptying time, di tumatagal yung absorption. Hindi naman sobrang significant na 1 to 2 hours, pero mga 10 to 20 minutes din po yun. Ang main factors that affect our gastric emptying time is stomach content and osmolality. Okay. Other factors that we need to consider is sometimes hyperacidic ang isang tao. So their stomach is naturally more acidic. So it can degrade some acid-sensitive drugs. Yung iba namang tao, nainom ng PPIs or antacids kasi inaatake ng hyperacidity. Anong ginagawa nun sa pH? Pinapataas, baba. Pinapataas ang pH. Ginagawang less acidic. So, increased stomach pH may cause interactions with enteric-coated products. Kasi enteric-coated products, these are designed to dissolve in alkaline media. So, there could be a source of drug interactions there. Okay? A few fat-soluble drugs may be absorbed entirely by passive diffusion in the stomach. A good example is your ethanol. Ethanol is rapidly absorbed in your stomach. So, pag nainom kayo, mabilis talagang tumama ang alak. Lalo na kapag wala kayong pagkain. Wala kayong pulutan. O pag wala kayong pulutan. So, sa sunod, dapat may kain or dapat may pulutan. Next, we have our small intestine. So, our small intestine, in particular, our duodenum, is the most important site of absorption. SITT ranges from 3 to 4 hours. Usually. So, yung tambay ng gamot ninyo sa duodenum is up to 4 hours. So, hindi po pwede, class, na hindi pa siya na-absorb ng 4 hours. Kapag hindi pa completely absorbed ang gamot nyo ng 4 hours, itatain nyo na yung gamot, most likely. Okay? So, inaaral naman po yan pag nagde-design ng oral drugs. It should be at least 100% absorbed by a certain amount of time. The small intestine ay matubig. Pero pag kinumpare natin sa colon or sa ating large intestine, medyo matigas na or semi-solid na po yung ating colon kasi nandun ang inyong dumi. Kaya pagkalampas ng small intestine at nasa large intestine na, malabo na pong ma-absorb yung inyong gamot. Kasi bukod sa lampas na siya sa malaking surface area, yung kasama niya dun sa small intestine ay tae ninyo. Kaya hindi na rin siya masyadong makagalaw. Baka mag-bind na nga siya sa tae nyo, ilabas nyo na siya ng buo. So, dapat, bago pa siya makarating ng ating large intestine, na-absorb na siya. So, the duodenum is is about 6 to 5 in pH. It has bicarbonate to deactivate excess acid. And it is optimum for the degradation of protein. Paki-highlight po ulit. Although pang-4 or pang-5 ko or pang-7 ko natang sinabi ito, yan. It is the major site of passive diffusion. Take note that the enzymes present in your duodenum destroy proteins. Hence, protein-type drugs cannot be given orally. Take for example, our insulin, our semaglutide, our tirzepatide. Did you know? Sa ating semaglutide, currently, wala pang severe ADRs na nadidetect sa GLP-1 inhibitors. Eventually, pag wala talagang ADRs masyado ang semaglutide, it can possibly be used in general public to decrease obesity. Kasi ang isang major risk factor talaga is weight eh. So the earlier you manage weight, the better your health outcomes are. So pag wala talaga siya masyadong adverse effects, eventually i-recommend na yan for the general population. Okay? This is just a comparison of the relative surface areas of your small intestine. In short, malaki po talaga ang surface area ng ating small intestine. Sunod, ang ating jejunum. Ang ating jejunum ay nasa gitna ng ating small intestine. Wala naman siyang masyadong gamit bukod sa hindi siya masyadong nagko-contract at pwede niyong putulin yung jejunum for in vivo drug absorption studies. Next is your ileum. Ileum is the last part of your small intestine. It also has less contractions and can be blocked off by catheters for drug perfusion studies. Chining. Colon. Your colon, wala na siyang villi, kaya mabagal na po ang absorption sa inyong colon. Bukod dito, malapot na or matigas na ang laman ng colon kasi dumi nyo na yan. Kaya po, hindi siya magandang... Kumbaga, dapat na-absorb na yung gamot bago pa ma-reach yung point na to. Pero, if your drug can exhibit absorption in this area, it makes the drug a good candidate for extended release. Kasi extended release, gumagana lang naman siya kung kahit lampas na siya sa ating small intestine, na-absorb pa siya. So drugs that are well absorbed in these regions are good for sustained or extended release. Finally, you have your rectum. Please take note, your rectum is different from your anus. Yung anus yung butas ng puwet, yung rectum yung cavity. So dito, labasan na po yan ng tae. Pero pwede rin po natin siyang pasukan ng suppository. I asked for that. Okay. Pwede natin siyang pasukan ng suppository. Just take note that a special part of the rectum has a special property in which it directly connects to the heart. What I mean is, hindi siya dadaan ng liver. Itong part na ito, diretso tong vena cava. It doesn't pass through the liver. It bypasses the first pass effect. Pag mataas na, wala. Dadaan na siya ulit ng ating liver. So ideally, if your suppository is for systemic use, sa lower part nyo isasaksak. In practice, it doesn't really happen kasi may tendency ang puwet na pag sinaksakan mo, gumaganon. Bago pumapasok. Hindi, tunay naman kasi. Pumapasok na pumapasok. Alam niyo yung joke na yung bote ng shampoo, delikado kasi maraming aksidenteng pumapasok sa puwet? Hindi po aksidente ang tawag doon. Sinasaksak nila sa puwet nila yon. Do not insert things into your anus without a flared base. Ang sabi ng flared base, yung may flat sa ilalim para pwede niyong hugutin. Kapag ang sinaksak nyo ay isang diretsyong ganon, anatomically, kakainin nyo ng pet ninyo, gaganan ng pet ninyo, bago pag nagsarado na, wala na. Doktor nang kukuha nun. Okay? So the lesson is, don't stick things up your anus without a flared base, and suppositories have a mixed effect depending on where you place it. Okay. It's the recto. Okay. Usapang puwit. Okay. Next we have, it would go up in YouTube. Okay lang. Wala namang nanonood masyado ng video ko. I think, feeling ko, this semester dadami ang views ko ng lumang Anafi at saka Farcal. Kasi yung Farcal ay first sem sa ibang school. Ang Biofarm ay, ewan ko kung kailan nila tinutulong ang Biofarm. Okay. So first, absorption via passive diffusion. Saan po na-absorb most of our drugs? Sa small intestine. Now, any factor that can affect how long the drug reaches the small intestine, or how fast or how long it stays in the small intestine, affects total drug absorption. Okay? Katulad nito. Una, gastrointestinal motility. Kung ikaw ay nagte-take ng ANS drugs such as acetylcholine, like methacholine or betanecol, ang effect nito ay bibilis ang inyong peristalsis. So what happens is, the drug, other drugs that are parang hindi naman talaga affected talaga, pag ininom mo, mas mabilis siyang pupuntang small intestine kasi mataas ang peristalsis. Pero, mas mabilis din siyang lalabas ng small intestine. Kasi, naka-speed boost ang inyong GI tract. So, ang nangyayari, pag sobrang bilis talaga ng paglipas, hindi na-absorb ng ayos ang gamot. So there is incomplete absorption. Other factors. Alam niyo yung gastric resection? Yung pinapaikli yung GI tract para hindi ka masyadong magka-absorb ng pagkain. Factor yon sa pag-inom ng gamot. Alam niyo yung sa MasterChef, yung malaking chef ng original na series, bago biglang pumayat sa dulo, nagpa-gastric resection yon. Binawasan ng small intestine para kahit kain ka ng kain, kokonti ang ma-absorb mong calories. So those are things to consider. Isa rin, pwede yun, pero napaka-high maintenance nun, yung surgery nyo. Okay. Here is the motility patterns for your GI tract. Your GI tract runs on a cycle. Kapag hindi kayo nakain, ganito ang nangyayari. Within 30 to 60 minutes, wala kayong mangyayari, parang wala lang. After 20 to 40 again, nalabas na yung bile. At after which, iikot na siya, maglalabas na siya ng ating mucus. This will trigger hunger. Okay, so kaya mga after 2 to 3 hours, nagugutom na uli kayo. Kapag naman po nakakain na kayo, dire-diretso na siya. Continuous yung movement ng inyong tiyan. So if medyo maselan yung gamot ninyo, kailangan nyo talagang isama sa instructions with or without food. Yan lang naman ang pinag-uugat na nito eh. Bakit may with or without food? It's either hindi stable yung gamot pag sinasamahan ng pagkain or may specific siyang speed na gusto para complete ang absorption. Okay. Here are the characteristic patterns in a fasted dog. Okay. Ito yung sinasabi ko kanina na gastric emptying time. This is the time it takes for the contents of your stomach to go into your small intestine. Basa ito, a delay in the gastric emptying time will slow the rate and possibly extent of drug absorption. So kung kayo ay nakaloperamide at bumagal ang inyong GI tract, possibly ma-delay ang effect ng gamot. Ang pinaka-kawawa dito na gamot ay yung mga hindi pwedeng magtagal sa acid. Example is penicillin. So pag na-delay yung emptying time niya, mas masisira siya sa ating stomach. These are the factors that affect gastric emptying time. Obviously, pagkain. Meals that are high in fat, cold beverages, and anticholinergic drugs cause the stomach to empty faster. Okay, question. Alam niyo ba yung pampurga? Antiox, o mebendazole, o Combantrin. Sino ang mga madalas pinupurga? Mga bata sa public school. Kasi usually linked yun. It's either poor yung hygiene or, ewan ko, kung ano pang source ng kanilang bulate. Kumakain ba sila sa lupa at meron silang bulate? Basta bata, ang abiso, pag nagpupurga, iinumin mo yung tabletas or isa-shot mo yung bote. 30 ml lang naman yon, Combantrin. Pagkainom mo, kakain ka ng itlog. Because the fat would cause gastric emptying to be faster. Para mas mabilis tumalab yung gamot, mas mabilis lumabas yung bulate sa inyong tiyan. Okay. Sabog yun sa puwet. Kung hindi sa puwet, ay sa pusod. Pusod. It's not unheard of na nalabas ang bulate sa pusod. Pwede rin sa mouth. Sa ilong, sa mata, sa tenga. Minsan. Pero medyo OA na yon. OA na yon pag sa mata. Sobrang dami na nun. Nilabon. Oo nga. Hindi, kaya nilabon para madaling kainin. Pero kahit anong klaseng itlog naman. Pero usually, nilabon na itlog ang kasama ng Kanban train. Kanban train, 2 itlog. Combo A. Ox. Sunod po, bukod sa gastric emptying time, ang isa rin po natin kailangan consider is intestinal motility. Itong ating SITT. SITT is small intestine transit time. Ideally, 3 to 4 hours. In cases of diarrhea, nagtatae, mas mabilis ang transit time. Kaya baka sa nagtatae, hindi ma-absorb ang gamot agad. Okay, tandaan, kaya meron mga gamot na pang suppository. Take for example, paracetamol, pag nagsusuka ang bata, may paracetamol na suppository. For modified release dosage forms, the dosage form must stay within a certain segment of the intestinal tract so that it is absorbed before it is lost. Yun lang naman. So, kung hindi man sa small intestine, sa other parts, dapat nagre-release pa rin siya. Okay. Ito, kakaiba na to. Aside from yung mga transit times, blood flow is also important. Although, hindi naman medyo, fringe cases na talaga, pag bumagsak yung blood flow sa inyong intestines, katulad ng severe congestive heart failure or may blockade somewhere in your body, pag bumaba yung blood flow, babagsak din ang absorption. Kasi babagal yung pagkuha ng dugo sa gamot at distribute. But those are fringe cases na. Any decrease in mesenteric blood flow, such as congestive heart failure, will decrease removal of the drug from the intestinal tract, decreasing bioavailability. Next, we have our lymphatic system. Our lymphatic system is an alternative method of absorption. Usually, ang na-absorb po sa ating lymphatic system ay lipids. So, lipid-soluble drugs can be absorbed to the lymphatic system by passing the liver. However, it's still a new field of drug delivery that we are still developing. Wala pang masyadong gamot na design talaga para ma-absorb sa lymphatic system. Chining. Okay. Lastly, patapos na ata tayo, no? Yes. Yes. Effect of food. These are the general effects of food in your GI tract. So, some drugs will need to take this in consideration before you administer them. Delay in gastric emptying, stimulation of bile flow, baka nagbabind siya sa bile. Change in pH, nabagsak ang pH ng stomach. Increase in splanchnic blood flow, change in luminal metabolism, or any chemical or physical interaction of the drug product with your food. Take for example, tetracycline, bawal sa gatas. Kasi mataas sa calcium ang gatas. Last is our disease states. Magbabago po ang ating absorption if you have any disease that can affect the following. Okay? I think that's the last slide. Okay. Questioning muna bago kayo palayasin. Miss Abando, what is the major way that drugs are absorbed into the body? Huh? Major way of absorption. Maraming klase, pero nag-focus ako sa isa. Nag-drawing pa ako ng cell membrane. Madami pa akong drawing. Ano? Passive diffusion. Okay. In passive diffusion, what is the most important property of a drug to be considered? Ano yung pinaka-importante? Hindi molecular weight.